This tiny hexagonal fort was part of a formidable defensive frontier that spanned over 50 miles and has been described as the Hadrian's Wall of the 20th century. But where is it, and what was it designed to defend? Find out in just a few moments. On today's show, it's a return to a rural setting for two recent retirees and their pets. And our properties are full of surprises.
Ooh, whoa, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Golly.
It's huge. Wow, a four-poster.
Today I'm in the West Country above Burton Bradstock Beach in Dorset. You might recognise this brick and concrete construction behind me is a World War II fortification known as a pillbox. Now this is one of literally thousands built hastily across the south of Britain between 1940 and 1941 as part of the largest military construction programme in our history. Now today though, these wartime relics like the one behind me can be found peppered across the countryside in various states of decay. But they also serve as a poignant monument to a time when Britain's freedom, and indeed her existence, was under threat, and her long and enduring battle for survival and eventual victory was only just beginning. Dorset sits on the southwest coast of England and is bordered by 4 counties, including Wiltshire to the north, with Somerset and Devon to the west. To the south, the distinctive 95-mile coastline borders the English Channel and is made up of long sand and pebble beaches, white cliffs to rival those at Dover, and rocky outcrops such as Durdle Door. But it's not just the magnificent shoreline that this county is known for. Inland, the coastal landscape gives way to picture postcard vistas of rural England at its best, with narrow country lanes, high hedgerows and pretty villages lined with thatched properties like at Evershot. Heading towards the northern border with Somerset, the scenic beauty of Blackmore Vale was the setting for the opening passages of Thomas Hardy's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. With atmospheric villages and beautiful landscapes, the Dorset-Somerset border offers those seeking a rural home the complete package. But, of course, all this history and beauty comes at a cost, especially in Dorset, where the average price of a detached house comes in at around £321,000, which is around £55,000 above the national average. But it's worth remembering, included within this figure is the hugely expensive area of Sandbanks near Poole, where price tags regularly hit well into their millions. So, if you want your budget to stretch further, you're better off heading inland and towards the north of the county, especially over the border into Somerset. But what part of this beautiful southwestern countryside are today's buyers looking to find a house? Let's meet them and find out. It's a back-to-the-country venture for today's home hunters, Philip and Diana, who live in the town of Hook in Hampshire. They've been married for over 40 years and met when they were just 16 years old.
I was going out with Diana's best friend. We used to go to the cinema, and Diana used to come along as chaperone.
He would chase me. He used to meet me off the school bus.
Philip recently retired as a resources administrator and Diana as a primary school teacher. They've lived in their current 4-bedroom property since 1987, but over the years, they've noticed a change in the neighbourhood.
It is a busy place now. Like everywhere else, there's going to be a lot of development, over about 600 houses they're planning.
We are now both 63, both retired, and we thought that whilst we've got the motivation, it was time to think about moving.
And with their 2 grown-up children now having families of their own, they feel the time's right to move back to a part of the country they both know well, having lived in the West Country when they were younger.
I mean, there are far more fields than we ever see here, and the roads are not so busy and the towns are not so busy.
Rolling hills.
And no traffic.
Joining Philip and Diana on the move will be their pets, Archie, an 11-year-old Scottish Terrier, and Philip's parakeet, Percy.
He thinks I'm his dad, because I fed him literally by hand, and he sits on my shoulder and chatters away. Quite a companion, and he's, you know,
Noisy.
fills a noisy house.
Having been married for 4 decades, Philip and Diana share many interests.
We go to church together.
We go away in our motorhome.
We go away in our
together.
motorhome together, which is a great pleasure to us.
We both like gardening. Unfortunately, this garden has got too small for us. We'd really enjoy having a bigger garden.
And my wife likes to come fishing with me,
Yes.
with a book.
And when he's finished reeling them in, Philip will be hitting the roads in his 2 classic cars, one of which is this 1934 Austin 7 Special.
I have another car, which is a Wolsey 1500, 1958. He is affectionately known as Wally, whereas the other car is known as Willie.
So with Willie, Wally, Archie and Percy all in tow, Philip and Diana are looking forward to their new life in the country, but they're under no illusions that it's a big step.
One of my concerns would be possibly losing contact with people that we have regular contact with. But apart from that, you know, I think if we go into it open-minded and flexible, then I think, you know, we should make a go of it.
Philip and Diana aren't set on a particular county, but generally prefer the countryside inland along the Dorset-Somerset border, so we're concentrating our search there. I'm meeting up with them in northeast Dorset to talk over their property wish list. So here we are, surrounded by beautiful Somerset stroke Dorset countryside. Now, why have you chosen this particular corner?
We've lived in this part of the world.
You've worked here when you lived here before.
Yes.
Completely different kettle of fish now you're retired. How are you enjoying that?
Oh, we're loving it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely loving it, yes.
You're in beautiful countryside now. Cattle just beyond us. Is that your dream?
We obviously want a village close by, within walking distance if possible,
OK.
so he can go off and walk to get his paper in the morning and...
Get his paper.
Yeah, yeah, well, that's what it's all about when you retire.
And a community.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about the house. Your classic car, that needs a home, first of all. You need a garage.
A couple of garages, really.
Couple of garages, right, OK. You like gardening, I know that.
Yeah, that's, you know, we really like a bigger plot.
You've got grandchildren. How many? Is it 5?
5, we've got grandchildren, yeah.
So they're going to be coming to stay. How many bedrooms do we need?
Well, we say 3. We don't want more than 3. The house is really secondary to the garden and a view, please. We'd love a view.
All right.
And a conservatory.
And the conservatory.
Yeah.
To take in that wonderful view.
Yes.
So let's talk about budget. What's the final budget here?
Top whack for 460,000.
Well, I know what we're looking for. It
OK.
may not all come in one package.
Right.
That's the compromise sometimes. But we've got 3 fantastic properties lined up. Let's start with the first, this way.
Excellent.
Lovely.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
For a budget of £460,000, Philip and Diana's perfect property needs to offer what they have in their current home, but in a countryside setting. They'd like at least 3 bedrooms, ideally a conservatory, a large garden with good views, and a couple of garages for Philip's classic cars. We've lined up 3 excellent rural properties for our buyers to view, selected with their wish list in mind. I'll be asking them to put a price on each at the end of the tour. Our mystery house gives them another option entirely, but it's one they'll need to put their own stamp on. So, Diana, I understand you're really into community. I mean, you live amongst neighbours now anyway, don't you?
I do.
What sort of things do you hope to get involved in down here in the countryside?
Well, whatever's going on. At the moment, I help with a toddler group, and I do a class, Pilates class, and we go to the local church.
You're people, aren't you?
We are people. And I taught young children, so I like being involved with anything to do with children.
Just can't give it up, can you?
No.
Our first property is in Winterbourne, Stickland, in the northeast of Dorset. A village of around 600 people, it grew up around the church, which was built in the 13th century. There are several pretty cob and thatch cottages lining the main street, including an inn. There's also a village post office. Stickland remains a working village, with farming the main industry in the surrounding hills. Our first house is found on the edge of the village, a mile from the thatched pub. OK, so our first foray into the local property market starts right here.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow is a word I love to hear.
Quite big.
But don't worry, I know what's going through your head. You don't have to heat it all. What we're looking at, see the downpipe there, the black downpipe?
Yep.
You see this protruding,
Yeah.
well, sort of like gable, if you like.
OK.
Up to that.
Well, it's different, isn't it?
It is.
Different.
Yes. Well, you're looking for a different life, aren't you?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
First impressions?
Yeah. Intrigued, definitely intrigued.
Yes,
Yes.
Very interesting.
I need to address the car issue.
OK. Yeah.
You've got double garage.
Oh, wow. Hey.
Yeah, it's good size.
Excellent.
So, armed with that knowledge,
Yep.
let's go inside and see where you'll live, not your cars. Follow me. Part of a private development of 6 dwellings built on an old farmstead, our first property is only 16 years old, but is constructed using reclaimed materials, including the brick and flint for the walls. Righty-ho, so downstairs we've got water closet as soon as you walk in. Now tell me what you think of this room. Is it what you're expecting?
Oh, that's quite cosy, isn't it? Very nice.
Wow. Very cosy.
Log burner. Oh, I like it. I like it.
How does this compare to the place you've got at home?
It's very different.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Well, we've got a conservatory on the end of our living room there.
Now, you don't have that conservatory here. You could easily put one on, but you do get that sort of sun terrace area there, as you can see.
OK.
Very nice. Just big enough. Don't anything
Yeah.
bigger
Nothing
than this, do we?
huge.
All right, now, we could have gone straight into the kitchen when we went through that door there.
all right, yes.
But I think it's quite a nice flow to do it this way. So let me
OK.
show you the other side of it. All right, then. So a dining kitchen.
Ooh.
Whoa,
very nice.
yes.
Yeah, very nice.
Excellent. That's
nice.
fantastic.
Just about the right size.
Yeah.
Now, who does the cooking? Is it
Oh.
Shed?
He likes cooking.
Good to hear. But so far, I mean, these are pretty good reactions. I think one of the reasons why the kitchen seems of a decent size, you get a good utility just through there.
Oh, right. Oh, OK.
Yeah.
OK, well, you can see the flow to this house now, can't you?
Yes.
Let me just squeeze past here. We'll
OK.
go upstairs to the bedrooms. Philip and Diana asked for 3 bedrooms, and they get potentially 5 with this house, spread over 2 floors. The top floor features a study bedroom area and a further double bedroom behind that, with an ensuite bathroom, somewhere for the grandchildren to play and sleep. The first floor is home to 3 bedrooms, including 2 smaller rooms, as well as a fully tiled family bathroom. This is very much the master. Come right in, actually, Philip, to see what
It's
you've got.
huge.
It's not as light as I'd hoped for it. It's quite dark,
Yeah.
even these windows.
But then again,
here.
if you change the decor,
I suppose it's, you know, it's the sort of style of the barn,
Yes.
isn't it?
Again, it's ensuite. Let me show you the garden,
Yeah.
and then I'll let you run around the whole place on your own.
OK.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
lovely,
OK,
thank
fine.
you.
Follow me.
Excellent.
In addition to the double garage, the outside space includes a large private rear garden, which is mainly lawn and terraced, with steps leading up to a decked vantage point. Now, for climbing up the terrace, you're rewarded with this view.
Oh, wow. I can cope with that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Now, behind you, beyond the chickens,
Yep.
you've got a footpath
Oh,
with
right.
a fantastic view. So
Excellent.
your dog Archie is well catered for.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So how much do you think this house is on the market for?
Well, lovely village, nice little community, lovely views. About 450, I think.
450?
I'm going to go a little bit more. I think it's more 455.
Well, this place has just come on the market with another agent, and they reduced it down to £465,000.
OK.
No big surprise?
No,
No.
no. You can see why.
I think you should go back into the house. Have a think about how you would use that extra space, and I will see you. Well, I'll see you whenever you're done, but I might just take in this with you for a couple of moments, all
That
right?
sounds.
Lovely.
All right?
Excellent.
OK,
See you in a
thanks
bit.
very much. Thank you. Yeah.
Mind yourself on the way down. I'll catch you later.
Thank you.
£5,000 over budget, our first property gives Philip and Diana pretty much everything they asked for and more. The barn-style design offers up 5 bedrooms, 2 more than they needed, but somewhere for the grandkids to stay and play when they come and visit. A double garage for Philip's classic cars and a large garden with views.
I love the community sort of aspect of it and the sort of farmyard atmosphere. You know, there obviously were buildings, farm buildings before. I love that. I love the living room.
There's probably quite a few more rooms than we expected. Certainly interesting. I'm beginning to warm to it, definitely.
So have you figured out what to do with all that space?
Yes, I think so. We'll certainly talk about it, that's for sure.
Spread out, yeah, quite. Maybe buy some more furniture.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first one done.
OK, that'll be good.
On to the next.
Excellent.
Dorset's heritage coast attracts millions of visitors a year who are drawn to natural gems including the limestone arch of Durdle Door and the sheltered cove at Lulworth. Perched on a cliff top overlooking Poole Harbour, it's the county's flora that's pulling in the crowds. The gardens of Compton Acres are visited by some 60,000 people a year. Covering 10 acres of Dorset countryside, it features 7 distinct garden styles, including a unique Japanese garden built in the 1920s. Since our couple are passionate about horticulture, we've brought them to Compton Acres to discover its history and see what it would take to develop and maintain a garden in this part of the world. They're meeting the garden's curator, Jerry Clark.
So, Jerry, how did these wonderful gardens come about?
Well, the gardens were first established back in 1914. Thomas Simpson, who was a local businessman, bought the property as his seaside residence and decided to create gardens which reflected his interest in horticulture and his worldwide travels.
So did Simpson construct and design it himself?
Well, he employed a gardener called Middleton, who was a very accomplished gardener in his own right, and together they set about designing the gardens. He employed a number of workmen with the skills necessary to develop the gardens and design a Japanese garden, which is probably one of the most authentic Japanese gardens outside of Japan.
The different themed sub-gardens include a formal Italian garden, complete with Roman villa, and an all-year-round heather garden. But it's the 1920s Japanese garden which Compton Acres is probably most famous for.
So did Simpson use a Japanese gardener?
Well, no, he actually employed a Japanese architect.
Okay.
And together with Middleton, who was the chief gardener here, they landscaped this whole area and built these fine Japanese structures, and they were authentic structures. You'll see many examples of the statuary that was imported from Japan. And over here you get the stepping stones, which link to the other side of the garden here.
So back in the 20s, how much did it all cost?
Well, they spent over £200,000, which in today's money is about £10 million. It's a huge investment in a private garden.
Their budget might be smaller, but Philip and Diana are keen to develop their own garden. So they're meeting Compton Acres gardener Ian Smith to find out about which plants thrive here in Dorset.
You've been inspired by the Japanese garden? Because this is all the
Definitely.
Japanese type things we have. Acers, pyrrhus, we've got rhododendrons, azaleas.
Okay.
So, and also over here, we've got something a bit more unusual, which you might have seen in the gardens.
Oh, wow.
It's called a grevillea, Canberra gem, and basically that flowers from January right up to like into the autumn months. And again, like something like the mugo pine.
Well, that's
Again, in a
unusual,
pot,
isn't it?
that would look just stunning in a
Yeah,
pot. Or,
lovely.
yeah.
So if we had one of these, how easy is it to look after?
Well, they're quite easy. And I think most people that buy this, even though they can grow it in the ground here, then they would normally put this into a pot. You just water, obviously, so it doesn't dry out. But in maintenance-wise, you wouldn't. There's hardly anything to do because the climate here is just perfect. You know, even if we have a wet season, a lot of plants seem to die because of conditions of cold and wet. Whereas here, because the soil's so sandy as well, it drains freely. Okay. So, you know, plants survive even the cold because they're not in the wet as well. So it's lovely, yes.
Armed with tips on how to create their own Japanese garden, our green-fingered couple just need to find their own West Country plot. So it's back to the hunt to find them a home. For our second option, we're hopping over the border into Somerset and heading to the village of Compton Paunceford. The closest amenities are spread across the neighbouring villages of North and South Cadbury, a 3-minute drive away, and include a shop for Philip to buy his paper and a pub. House 2 is in the smaller village of Compton Pauncefort. A community of just 70 inhabitants, the centre point is the 15th century parish church, built from local golden hamstone. Our next offering is almost opposite, part of a development of 6 properties created from former agricultural buildings.
As the last development went down quite well, having a few neighbours around, we thought we'd stick with that theme for this.
Right.
And yeah, it's another barn conversion.
Oh.
Wow.
What do you think of where we are now?
Well,
Wow,
it's
excellent. Excellent location.
lovely.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of how it looks?
From here, fantastic.
Yeah.
Exceptional, yeah. Really
Okay.
good,
Yeah.
really good.
All right,
Can't wait to go in.
let's do that.
Converted in the late 90s, our second property is an old granary, and like the village church, is also built from hamstone, which is a feature of this part of southern Somerset. The interior pays homage to the original fabric of the building, revealing exposed timbers and vaulted ceilings.
Righty-ho. First impressions, Diana.
Oh, well, quite small, not too high.
Very light, though.
Yeah, just light. But how big is that
Room
window?
to
Yeah.
have breakfast.
Yeah?
Can I make a suggestion?
Get rid of that.
Get rid of that. You've got more than enough reception
All right.
room,
Oh,
okay,
right.
space later on. First of all, you can see you've got this raised level here.
Yeah.
And I think that'll make a much better dining area, breakfast
Yeah.
area. Then this is just a kitchen with a massive
Yeah.
gas range.
Lovely.
Just next door, you've got a utility.
Okay.
Now, just here, you can see this is made
Yeah.
to have, you know, for a
Very
breakfast
light,
room or
isn't it?
Yeah.
casual dining.
So light.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But then you've got a huge room just here.
Oh.
Follow me.
Okay.
Amazing room.
Wow. Nice.
Stunning.
It's huge.
And
It's not too big, but it's big.
You see those
and very
windows from
light.
outside now, how much light they let in.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get a lovely table there, couldn't
Gosh. And the beams.
Now, I know you like to have a fire. Got a lovely stove there, haven't
Yeah.
you? Wood burner.
It's a wood burner.
Yeah.
So is this their main living room?
Yeah, this is... Well, it's not an upside-down house completely, but, yeah, this is the only first floor we've got. The bedroom to downstairs.
Oh, right. Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
You've got that lovely area there.
Yeah,
What would you do with that?
Oh, I think that's a cosy little area there.
Chaise lounge, maybe?
She's lost.
Oh, well, just being fed grapes by a diner.
I think just, you know, the space up here lends itself to a nice table, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's opening our minds to the possibilities.
With the dining arrangements covered, we're turning our attention to the sleeping quarters. This property has 3 double bedrooms, 2 with full-height windows leading onto an outside terrace. There's also a large, fully tiled family bathroom with freestanding bath.
But then the master, much bigger again.
Wow, a 4-poster.
Yes,
Nice
it's a good
size.
size, then. Very good size.
And a whopper of an ensuite next door as well.
Oh,
Okay.
very nice.
Nice and light.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, this is so far so good. And
Yeah.
what's going through your mind at the moment? I mean, obviously, first of all, we're over the border in Somerset.
Yeah.
But you said you look at this whole area, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We did.
I'm thinking, what's the garden like? That's what I'm thinking. Because that could swing.
Yes. Well, I tell you what, it could do, actually. That could be the compromise. Let's make our way out there, and on the way, start thinking about price.
In addition to the paved terrace, there's a secluded L-shaped lawn area bordered by a small stream. And Philip has a garage for his classic cars, as well as a workshop.
Now, the garden, sunny it might be, huge it is not.
This is it, is it?
This is it.
Yeah.
Big compromise. Your boundary is that lovely little babbling stream there.
Right.
And then, well, it just goes round the corner, really.
Okay.
Yeah. No vegetable plot.
Yeah, that's the compromise. I mean,
Yeah.
Because the view was really the
The
important
other
thing as well.
important factor, wasn't it? So.
we do get a view.
Right.
It's just there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Tiptoes, you can see it.
So, how much do you think this place is on the market for, then?
I'm going to go for £425,000.
I think a little bit more, probably 430.
Philip, you're spot on. It's on the market for £425,000.
OK.
Yeah.
You're not impressed now. I mean, it was going so well, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I just think the garden completely has killed it for us, really.
Go back inside, have a good look around.
Yep.
And I will see you whenever you're finished.
OK, brilliant. Thank you.
In a bit. Well, it was going so well. It's in such a lovely environment. But, by the sounds of it, the garden is a must. So, we'll go from there. Below budget by £35,000, our second property, a charming barn conversion, gives Philip and Diana light and spacious living areas, the 3 bedrooms they asked for, and a garage for the cars. But it seems the garden, despite being pretty and secluded, isn't quite large enough for our buyers.
When I first saw property 2, I thought, wow, what a beautiful position, lovely rural area, and lovely sandstone colour. It looked lovely. Well, it's just the disappointing size of the garden. You know, we just can't compromise on that, really.
It was tastefully done, and, you know, everything flowed in the house. Property number 2 wasn't a property that we would have thought of looking at. It didn't tick all the boxes. It took quite a lot of the boxes, but the main box it didn't tick was the size of the garden.
All finished?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So it's such a shame this garden wasn't big enough, because it is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely, lovely outlook.
Lovely spot. But I still think we've got one property that you're considering, hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's head back now, and then tomorrow the mystery house.
Lovely.
Look forward to that. Excellent.
It's the second day of our property search here in the Dorset-Somerset borders. And on a budget of £460,000, we're helping retirees Philip and Diana from Hook in Hampshire find a rural home in the West Country. Coming up, it's back to the drawing board with the mystery house.
Yeah.
All these things that were so important to you, then suddenly you've forgotten about them.
And I discover a new way to keep the vampires at bay.
You call it black garlic?
That's right.
Ooh, wow, it's jet black, isn't it? Whilst property number 1 went down pretty well yesterday, I'm not convinced we've shown Philip and Diana a house with a big enough garden to make them want to move down here. Now, I do remember them both telling me that if they could pick up the modern house that they live in and move it down here, they'd be more than happy. And I think the mystery property fits into that category. But of course, being the mystery, it comes with a couple of compromises. First of all, Philip, well, he'll have to go 2 or 3 miles by bicycle every morning to collect his morning paper. Diana, well, she doesn't yet get a conservatory, and they'll both need an imagination when walking around the internals of the property. But if they're prepared to overlook these foibles, let's say, then they'll get their garden, enough outside space for a very active retirement. Let's hear we go.
We're staying in Somerset for our third and final property, which is in the village of North Barrow. The small country town of Castle Carey, 3 miles away, is the main hub for a large part of southern Somerset, with a wide range of shops and cafes. The historic centre features a market hall, which is now a museum, and a hotel, which is one of the oldest buildings in the town, partially built using stone from a nearby Norman castle, which was demolished in the 12th century. Our mystery property is a 10-minute drive away, located in a quiet setting. It certainly has the land. The house itself is a bit of a blank canvas, but gives Philip and Diana the chance to put their stamp on it.
This mystery house, we've got more garden than we've seen already.
Yeah.
And it goes on. But what do we think of the house?
Oh, very nice, actually. Yeah. Yeah, very
Excellent.
nice. Yeah. How old's this one, then? Is that...
Mid-80s.
Mid-80s?
Yeah, so it's a modern-ish house.
OK.
Now, first things first, your morning newspaper, Philip.
That's not a problem.
Oh, it's not a problem now.
Wow.
Good.
I'm sure we can get it somehow.
Well, it's only it's 3 miles away.
OK.
The Castle Carey. But the grandchildren, what's great about this village is it's about 3 miles from the A303. So you're really well connected by car
Yeah,
for
we
visiting,
realised that.
but also for your camper van.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I forgot what didn't enter my head about the camper van.
Yeah.
then.
No,
Yeah.
plenty of
All
space
these
here.
things that were so important to you, then suddenly you've forgotten about them. And as you can see, there's plenty of gardens. We'll look at that later.
Okay.
Now, what do you like in using your imagination when you look around a house?
Yeah, fairly flexible. Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, the outside area's right, so...
So it's
First-
got to be right inside.
Good, all right. Well, let's go and look inside and see what you think of it.
Okay.
As well as a generously sized garden which continues around the other side of the house, there's a double garage for the 2 cars and plenty of parking space for the motorhome.
Let's start with the living room first of all.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's a reasonable size,
It
isn't
is. It's not bad size at all.
And what's it got in the...
Fireplace as well.
Yeah, it's big enough for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, do you remember I said you need to use your imagination? How would you have this room?
Oh, we like cosy. Yeah, but it's adequate. It's a
Yeah,
nice
it's
size.
just a nice size.
Yeah.
Good, all right. Let me take you to the kitchen. We'll have a quick duck into the dining room on the way through.
Right here.
So if you come in, just the right-hand side, there's the separate dining room,
Right.
all right?
Okay. Yeah. That's good
Ground
size.
floor loo there, and then a fairly compact kitchen. Come right in.
Oh, big
Okay.
enough for me, I think.
Oh, it's not bad.
But a lovely view of the garden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a wow factor, that.
Yeah.
I really do think that this house is crying out for something you said you were after, and that's a conservatory.
Yeah.
Either on the dining room or on the kitchen, or maybe both.
Yes.
Well, you could do it off the dining room, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be lovely.
I know you liked the first house, but it was almost bordering on too
big,
large.
Too large. Yeah.
You seem to both fit into this house.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, I like
Very
it.
much. Can we see more?
we can see more. Let's have a quick look at the master bedroom, okay? Can I just squeeze past there?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Up we come.
Upstairs there are 4 bedrooms, 2 doubles and 2 singles, as well as a family bathroom, all arranged off a central landing.
This is the master. Not huge, but you get your storage.
Okay.
No,
Oh, it's not bad, is it?
But this is absolutely adequate. And
Ensuite.
ensuite.
Yeah, ensuite.
Yeah.
Jolly.
I really like it a lot.
No,
Nice.
it's huge potential. Huge potential.
Does that excite you, Diana?
Yeah.
It does.
It does.
Worries me a bit because I don't know the price or anything.
No. But if you could afford this sort of house
Yeah.
and afford to do what you'd like to do to it, these cosmetic changes, is this the sort of thing you had in mind?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is good, isn't it?
It
It's
is
got
good.
a wow factor in a different way, in as much as that, wow, yes, we love it, and we can do something with it.
Yeah, this could work for you.
The mystery property has worked its magic on our buyers, who seem as impressed with the house as they were with the garden, which extends to over half an acre and is mainly laid to lawn.
So where would you have your veggie patch, do you think?
Well, I reckon the sun goes that away, so it'll probably in that corner, that bottom corner of the
Garden.
garden there. Yeah.
Fish pond.
Fish pond, definitely.
Huge potential for a fish pond here.
Now, you did say you'd love the idea of a view. Now, that hedgerow at the back there, you drop that down, then you've got a view over farmland. Be fantastic. Let's talk about the price. Look back at the house. Go
I'm
on,
going to
Philip,
be
you go
bold.
Go on.
I'm going to say 350.
Diana?
I think you're way out.
Do you?
I think it's 450.
450. It's on the market for offers in the region of £435,000.
Oh.
So. Why did you guess 350?
I've just been hopeful.
Now it's considerably more than 350. What do you think about it, Philip?
Happy with that, I think. Yeah. I think we could run with that. Yeah.
I think you should go back into the house, really have a think about what you said you were after,
Yeah.
and align this with all the things you said you wanted. And then we'll have a chat after that. All right?
Okay.
Yep.
Enjoy it. Have a look at that
Thank
double
you.
garage.
Thank
I will. Thank you.
That's kind of what I said. This house gives them absolutely everything they said they're after. It's a big move here to the countryside, and I think they're now starting to realise that. Looking forward to finding out what they think.
£25,000 below their top budget, the modern mystery property offers Philip and Diana essentially the shell of a house they can modify to suit their tastes and needs. It comes with 4 bedrooms, one more than they asked for, a double garage and 0.6 of an acre of land.
That's amazing. Another little bedroom as well.
And that's bigger.
I mean,
than-
you
probably
could almost get a double bed in there, couldn't you?
Or double bed, I don't know, a single bed.
Certainly a big single. This is going to suit us, this is, isn't it?
It is.
Eh? I'm chuffed to bits with this.
Absolutely lovely. You know, room to spread ourselves in the garden, and that's what we were looking for. Well, the downside is how much needs doing in the house, but you know, you can't have it perfect in every way, can you? So, you know, it is, as my husband says, livable in, and, you know, we'll do it slowly.
Lovely garden, nice, relatively modern house. The garden's brilliant. Room for a veggie patch, room for flower beds. I think there's a lot of potential here.
Well, I'm hoping we might have found you a house.
I think you might.
Well, but that sounds like you've got something to discuss, something to think about. Let's find you somewhere to do just that, and we'll catch up later on.
Brilliant.
After you.
Head inland from the rocky Jurassic coast and the Dorset landscape gives way to gently rolling hills and wide valleys all the way up to the Somerset border. Around 3/4 of the Dorset countryside is agricultural. 17 years ago, one local sheep farmer, looking for a more profitable business, sold up and tried his hand at growing a crop more closely associated with the cultures of Spain and France. Today, Mark Botwright's garlic farm near Bridport is going from strength to strength, producing 900,000 bulbs a year. He's also found a novel way to preserve the seasonal product all year round. I've come to meet Mark to find out more.
Garlic. It's not the traditional plant we'd have here, what, 50 or so years ago. Why is it becoming so popular?
I think our taste buds are changing, really. I mean, normally you would just see wheat and barley growing here. It's a good cash crop. It's something that people like to eat.
Now, you're a traditional farmer by trade. What made you start thinking, you know what, let's grow some garlic?
Well, believe it or not, my wife Wendy gave me 3 bulbs 17 years ago as a birthday present. We never ate any in the kitchen. I just kept it back all the time, dried it and replanted it. And from that, this is what you see after 17 years of hard work.
You are joking. This is the product of those 3 birthday bulbs of garlic. You seem very passionate about this garlic. I mean, is this all you do now?
Yeah, it's all I do. I live, breathe, have nightmares about it. Everything I do is solely garlic.
Fresh garlic is in season between July and October, and the dried bulbs have a limited shelf life of a couple of weeks. Mark wanted to find a way to preserve some of these bulbs so they could be eaten all year round. A few years ago, he came across an ancient Korean method for curing garlic bulbs by exposing them to heat and moisture over a 40-day period, producing what is known as black garlic, which lasts up to a year.
Now, you call it black garlic.
That's right.
Doesn't look particularly
No,
black,
it
does
just
it?
looks like an aged, not very happy garlic, does it, really?
If I found that in my fridge, I'd be thinking about throwing it out.
Yeah, you would do. Right, let me show you. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, wow, it's jet black, isn't it?
There you go.
Like tar.
It's got a real licoricey texture, but a real balsamic, aged balsamic flavour.
Can I have a nibble?
Yeah, you can. Here, there's one here. You can try.
Okay, thank you. So already, I mean, this looked dry and horrible and ready to throw out, but this is really moist, mulchy, if you like.
Wow.
I put it in my mouth, and I thought, oh, that's like a licorice all sorts sort of thing. And now you get to say the balsamic vinegar, and only now do I get the garlic. It comes in stages, doesn't it? That's amazing.
Sweet, savoury.
It's like a Willy Wonka sweet. It's awesome. I can't get over it, sort of
the texture,
rubbery texture. It's amazing.
Right, now this is the nice thing about it. You don't actually have to chop it up, so you can actually put it down.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
And make a paste that
Goodness
easily.
me.
Black garlic has twice the antioxidants of normal garlic, is low in fat, rich in natural sugars, making it sweeter in taste, and, unlike its whiter version, leaves no smell or bad breath. There are a variety of ways it can be used in everyday cooking, in pastas, roasts and stir-fries. Or simply warmed with butter and enjoyed on a piece of ciabatta toast with ricotta cheese, some scrapes of fresh garlic and a sprinkle of chili flakes.
That is absolutely amazing. We're getting a really nice smoky flavour, and that sweetness from that garlic as well, that black garlic. Oh, it's goodness.
As Britain's only black garlic producer, Mark has finessed the ancient curing process and has his own special heating hut, which churns out 2,500 bulbs every 40 days. He now supplies the country's top eateries with British black garlic. It's a far cry from his days as a struggling sheep farmer.
So the mystery house seems to be the clear favourite, and I think that huge garden was certainly the deciding factor. Time to catch up with Diana and Philip and find out what they plan to do next. So you've had some time to think.
Yep,
I'm pretty sure I know your favourite house, the mystery property. Am I right?
definitely.
Yep.
So, do you want to buy it?
We would like to buy it, yes. We need to do a bit of homework first, though.
OK.
Go back, have a look at the maps. We might come back on Saturday if it's at all possible, have another look around the area.
What is it about the mystery property that's, well, captured your hearts, if you like?
Well, it's the size of the garden, obviously.
Yeah.
Definitely the size of the garden. And the garages. And the view and the potential that the house has.
And potential for what?
Well, to make it our home.
Yeah.
You know.
First and foremost,
Yeah.
that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Coming away from the place, have you thought what changes you might like to make to the mystery property?
Look to knock the wall down, the kitchen and the dining room.
Nice big kitchen diner.
Yeah. Have a bigger patio door, or think about the conservatory.
Yeah. These are all things that would
Yeah.
make it a tremendous family home.
Yeah, and it would be fun doing it. It would be fun doing it. So we've got to think long and hard.
So, when's the second viewing? I'm going to push you on this.
Saturday, hopefully.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
That's encouraging. You're going to go away and come back?
Yeah.
Good. Good for you. Whatever you decide, and I hope it will be positive, let us know.
Of course
won't
we will.
you?
Of course we will.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Philip and Diana did go for the sort of house you'd find in a town that's actually situated in the countryside. But I think that's because it gave them so much of what they said they're after. The modern interiors, the village location, somewhere to park their motorhome, and most importantly, that massive garden. In fact, so much so, I think the only thing that's stopping them purchasing that house is themselves. But then again, it's been so long since they've bought a house, I can appreciate why they want to have a second viewing. But when they do that, when they look around the locality this weekend, I do hope it gives them the confidence to take the plunge. See you next time.
If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and would like our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.